Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Thank you very much for joining us for our regular streamed Sunday stream that we're having going on. Now we do have some very, very wicked weather outside. So rain is coming, severe thunderstorms, a couple other things. So if by chance we do lose power, we might have to cut it a little bit short, but that is yet to be seen. Now, overall, it looks like a lot of people are kind of either way with the heroes. Most people love them. Very, very few people are hating them. We'll give a couple more, few more minutes for our survey over. But looking at the heroes now, we've kind of went through the very first iteration of these heroes. Since the release, we've seen a couple changes that have kind of come in. We know there's been a lot of loot kind of based around these. Now, of course, this is what is essentially coming up next week. 3 weeks of Hilduin. That is right. Players are saying we are going to get 3 more copies of Hilduin, and then of course claim Hilduin in the following 4 monthly events, which if there's one monthly event every single month, so the next 4 months, we're going to be getting some more copies of him. So very similar to Eugene, where they are giving us a lot of abilities to get these copies of the heroes and also giving us a bunch of free copies. Then of course the Dragon Bond, even more perks as we're going through the Dragon Forge. Now I want to answer some questions about the Draconis that we have, and we'll get into it. But let's see, Soul is here, Major is here. It's Beans. What is going on, Beans? I hope you have a great day, and I'm out again. I'll see you later, Justin. Thank you for joining us. It looks like Julia, Ali, and Simon is here as well. Tushar and Connor and Louise. Very, very cool to see. So, of course, one of the questions we did have was about the Dragon Isles. Now, this is one that I want to look at. So, the Dragon Forge, of course, we have our reset. Now, highest floor is 8. You can see we did get 10 of our threat emblems. We got 6 of our scaled emblems. We also did get 200 of these highborn stamps. Now, one thing to note with this, and again, a lot of players were kind of wondering about this, they are adding more floors to this. So right now we can actually go through floor number 10. They're going to be adding 11 through 20, I believe, in the next month they were talking about, that we're going to be able to actually progress a lot further within the Dragon Forge trials, which means you're going to be able to get a lot more rewards out of here. Again, as we continue our progression, this is going to essentially get to the point of having a lot more rewards, which here, clear stage 8 would give us the ability to actually get these. So building out the Draconis heroes is pretty important, just for the simple fact, if you're looking to build any of those, you're going to have to do it out of here. This is only the really only place that we see right now that you're getting regular rewards when it comes to your threat emblems and everything else and building up a multitude of heroes. This is going to be the big place to get them. Now, of course, within the Dragon Forge, I'm going to pick up some more of these insignias. And the question was that I've gotten a lot, Hilduin or Gwen. Honestly, utility-wise, it seems like Hilduin is a little bit further. And again, if you have some questions, definitely drop them in here. Thank you much for all the time and dedication. You've helped my game tenfold. Oh, awesome, Jason. Yeah, anytime I can help, guys, I love doing it. YouTube, I am shocked on how much I do love doing YouTube and the content. It is a ton of fun. And of course, most of you know with the ad sharing, it really does cover what we put into AFK Arena, which is very cool. I only find myself constantly using Bubble and Gwen. So interesting, Trisha, that is what I'm hearing. So I know a lot of players, and when you start looking at the heroes themselves, again, a little bit bigger picture, we have seen quite a bit right here that was focused on Nyla. Nyla was used in a couple different formations alongside the awakened version of Baden, I believe is where we see Nyla. Worked incredibly well within the game mode. And then, of course, the current iteration is running Gwen for a damage dealer in there, which again is very interesting to see. Now, the last iteration that we were actually running Nyla within the formation, we were also running Hilduin within that formation as well in a different team. Nyla, I believe, was actually in team 1. Hilduin was in team 2. And of course, this is looking at the whale comp. So when you're looking at the biggest players in AFK Arena, and where are these heroes are being used. Now, of course, with that being said, Cassius and also Paulina, we're not really seeing anywhere as of yet. But also remember, you do kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, because when we look at a couple of our heroes, when you look at a hero, and I always go back to the instance of Queen, it was about 6 months after release where we seen Queen's utility come in. And at that point, Queen was used pretty much in the 5-pull and a couple other formations. So not only building the Draconic heroes out now to actually make some more progression within the game mode, but it'll get to the point where some of these heroes could be utilized in a bunch of different avenues. And of course, used in addition with future hero releases that we're going to see. And of course, because of everything really around them, all of the summons, the insignias, some players are saving those, which of course is going to hurt your your position in the Dragon Trials. But if we're getting new heroes, essentially I'm wondering where we're going to continue to get all of the scrolls that we're seeing outside of here. Not even 100 whales, and I got level 10. What are they thinking? I'm not sure, Major. I've tried a lot. We literally went through a dozen different formations. It really didn't work. First time being able to join the live stream. Thank you, David, for joining us. We do this live stream every single week, guys. Free to play. Should I prioritize baits over red emblems for Celestial Isles? Because I don't have Beast Resonance unlocked yet. Yes. So the big thing to remember is when you're looking at red emblems, Ali, and we can hop in here. I got to go do my dailies in here. We have to do pretty much everything. I haven't hopped on in 19 hours. We haven't been in this account. But Beast Resonance is huge. It is an absolute game changer. It is something that I absolutely underestimated, Ali, is getting those, getting the Beast Essence very, very early and making sure that you're making progression on a regular basis with your Beasts. It is very, very important that you get there. And look at that, guys. Kenneth, I love dragons and I love the design. They remind me of Miss Kabasasi Dragon Maiden. Only problem is difficulty to get on them. Thank you for the super chat. And yes, they're going to get easier, Kenneth. So overall, we've started incorporating, and they have started incorporating a lot of different places to get these. And then, of course, when you're looking at a few different places, they've started giving us kind of regular rewards that we've been seeing. We've been seeing rewards that we can get out of a multitude of game modes. Not only that is in addition to diamonds. So having the ability and being able to literally use straight up diamonds to get some more of the copies. And of course, I haven't done my TikTok video. I don't know when the challenge ends, but going through here and getting a lot of the resources or building out the Celestial Isle. So let's talk about this for a minute. So when we're building this out, there's a few different ways. And if you caught the video, and I think Ali asked the question, when you look at this, so baits, if you do not have Beast Resonance 18, I would go ahead and I would pick up the baits. The reason being, there are a few different beasts within AFK Arena that are literally game changers when it comes to getting them to 18. So again, if you don't have them at 18, I would absolutely build these out. I would go ahead and put these in there and build out your beast to get Resonance 18. Since I already have Beast Resonance 18, I'm going to go in for red chest. Now, of course, red chest with the addition of the plus 40 signature items, red chests will always be used. We have, what, 150, I think 160 plus heroes at this point. So red chests are always going to be used, especially because of all the heroes that are going to be coming in future releases. Red chests are going to be an absolute priority. Now, when you look at here, I always put in the essence. Now, the twisted essence we do get out of the Twisted Realm, and we get this essence out every 2 days, which means it is very limited. Now, you have to think, again, kind of big picture. Red chests are going to build one specific hero. Twisted Essence is going to build one specific entire class of heroes. As you're continuing to add stats in a bunch of different ways, you want to make sure that you're getting the Twisted Essence out of here on a regular basis. And then the third one, you could either go with Poe coins if you're lacking furniture on heroes. You could also go in here for some of your shards. Again, if you're kind of lacking heroes, either one of those would be a good choice. Now, of course, shard production seems to be a little bit faster and a little bit more on par because, again, you're building one specific hero, where with your Poe coins, you actually have the ability to possibly summon for the 10 different heroes we have in the wish list. So this would be kind of ideal if I already had my Beast Resonance built out. If I didn't have them, I would drop out my Poe coins. I would put in the Beast Resonance, and this is essentially what I would run through every floor in the Celestial Isle. These were the three that I would be looking for. And again, because I have Beast Resonance already at 18, I'm going to put Poe coins in here, and this would be the build. Now, of course, we added the Path to Riches a little while ago, which literally just gives you a little bit of free loot, but that's okay. Now in here, going floors 1 through 9, you're only going to do a specific one where once you find one reward, you go to the next floor, except on the 10th floor. The 10th floor and every 10th floor is the only one. So there we go. We hit one reward. We go to the next floor. Then, of course, when you look at the 10th floor, the big thing in here is you do add in cores, you do add in your Stargazer scrolls. So again, using the same iteration, these first four, you're going to do baits, cores, red chest, or your Stargazer cards. That is it. That is really all you're going to do in there. And again, if your beasts are already at 18, then I would do cores, red chest, and your Stargazer scrolls. And that's it. It's pretty easy to get through there. Most players hit around 35, I would say 35 to 42 floors in here. And then, of course, out of here, because the heroes are unfortunately absolute trash, that we have in here that I wouldn't buy any of them. So again, it's going to be looking at your chests. It's going to be looking at your beasts, your baits right there. And then of course your cores. If you don't have 18 beasts, I would go ahead and get the baits to go ahead and finish those out. If you already do, then it's, do you need red chests or do you need cores within this event, which of course is going to give you a lot of resources, guys. There is going to be a ton. So is Nyla the best dragon of the E+ options? Yes, Blazer. I would say Nyla is the best. And of course with Nyla, Nyla works as a support hero without even having a huge build out. What's going on, Zolthamus? Lindsay is here as well. But like I was saying, this hero doesn't even require a massive build out to do exceptionally well. We've even seen lower performing when it went to the Cursed Realm, that she was still doing well without being really built out and the entire thing. Easy to neglect of your Arena K journey popping off. Oh, yeah. No, not at all. Easy to slightly neglect your AFK account with Journey popping off. No, in Zolthamus, honestly, if you guys play Journey, we're at a point there's nothing to do. We're literally waiting our last 5 days. I played for about 10 minutes this morning, ran through a couple things because we've capped everything waiting for the new season, Zolthamus, so there's really nothing else to do. When does the patch hit global? Yes, so global should be, and we thought this was going to be a little bit different. The patch notes should be up tomorrow, Eric. And then Tuesday, the patch will be on global. Now, that's the regular iteration that we see. Monday has been the notes. Tuesday has been the patch. We thought it was going to be a little bit different because, of course, they did go ahead and they released the patch notes on the test server about 3 days early. So we got them actually last Monday. We got the patch notes. And then, of course, they threw off the whole iteration. But it seems on global, they're staying with the same. And Aaron, thank you for subbing to the channel. Didn't even catch the subscriber. Usually we get 5 every single live stream. So that is one right there. Talking about beasts, what are the top 3? So the top 3 are kind of tough. So the top 3 that I have right now, Slumbering Seal, Talisman, and then, of course, the Owl, in my opinion, are probably still the top 3 with a question with Ice Crown. And again, Ice Crown, I wouldn't really put Ice Crown in the top 3 because once you have Ice Crown built, the utility is there. But a lot of players still do use Panda, still do use Aris. And again, when you look at AFK Arena, it's hard to break down what are the top 3, Jason, because all of the game modes take so many beasts, even looking at 5 formations within campaign stages. But even when you start looking in here, you know, the beasts you'll see are pretty commonly used. There's the Spider, of course, for the taunt that we have in there. Then looking at the Fox Fatale, there's probably, I would say, like, let's say the top 7 beasts, because you'll notice that a majority of the beasts we're using in the Cursed Realm are in the Nightmare Corridor. A majority of them that are used in there are in the Treasure Scramble. Most of the beasts, there's probably about 7 top beasts that are in there. And again, it depends exactly what you're using them with. Should I engrave plus 60 Tamara's? I probably would not at this point. Even Tamara's, I don't have at 60. Doesn't really make a huge difference with this one. This is the big thing with PvP. So this, of course, is a very good one when you're using Tamara's for PvP, which I don't think that very many players are using in the Treasure Scramble. I think I still see him every now and then within the Treasure Scramble teams when we start getting to the multitude of teams in there. But overall, this is really big when it comes to specific game modes, but I really wouldn't go ahead and spend it in there now. Just got back from Bangkok after weeks of doing dailies, pushed to 49. Very nice, 49.53. Yeah, so the big thing in here, guys, is remember, with the patch update that is coming, we're going to have the ability to get a lot, and I mean a lot of your dragon emblems out of the campaign stages. So we're going to have the ability. This is why I pushed all the way to 62.44. We're going to finish out 62. We're going to get into 63. But of course, when we're starting to get to the point of needing and really needing a lot of resources to build out a lot of different heroes, we've continued to push. Now, of course, don't do your summons on the weekly. So a lot of players have said with the Field of Stars that is coming, and make note of this, guys, with the changes to the Field of Stars that are coming, if you go ahead and you knock out these weekly quests right now, you're not going to get the resources out of leveling up the Field of Stars and then collecting the weekly. So right now, do not collect the weeklies because it is going to be, you want to wait for the Field of Stars update on Tuesday to go ahead and pick all of these up. You don't want to pick up the weeklies. The dailies are fine, but the weeklies you don't want to pick up until we do have the ability to update the Field of Stars with the patch that is coming. Hope all is well. Imagine you started doing polls today and needed advice when it comes at the right time. Oh, thank you, John. For a lot of players, and this is why I put out the video about not doing your summons. Wait to do summons, guys. If you're doing summons within the Temple of Time, if you're doing it within the Stargazer, all of the rates are going to be changing on Tuesday, which is the reason why I said wait to do summons. Wait to do summons. Who should I give 1 star first, Leica or Eugene? I would probably go with Leica. And the big reason, Facile, is the Awakened version of Leica actually falls right into that SSS class, where Eugene is still kind of stuck in the SS. Utility-wise, I use Leica for everything. She is a hero that literally we're still using in pretty much everything, everywhere. I would absolutely put it in there. What's going on, Kenya? Love your videos. Thank you guys for watching. It's awesome. When is the rate buff coming? Tuesday. It should be Tuesday. I just pushed to 65. Think it's where I'll sit. Yeah, the levels, if you guys have seen the deficiency, especially when I'm pushing through here, I mean, we're at 1355. So we're at what? 400 plus level deficiency. It literally just takes a lot of time. And I know Trisha's in the exact same boat, where it just takes an incredible amount of time to go through here. And when I mean an incredible amount of time, we're talking probably hours per stage, especially to get things like the Thorn Cheese to work. It is literally taking hours to make any progression at all. I would much rather spend my time farming up the towers, getting more cards out of here, than sitting and actually farming up the campaign formations. And of course, where we are, I'm pretty happy with the progression that we're kind of going through. Ice Crown on Chimera PvP is broken. My team got 30-40, level 12. And that's it. So like what you were saying, Major, Ice Crown in the comp is broken. Also, Ice Crown being utilized with the Awakened version of Lucius. Very broken, but you don't need Ice Crown built out super well, which is very good. Been watching both AFK and Journey. Oh, thank you, Meta. Yeah, guys, Journey is fun. AFK Journey, I'm liking it, honestly, a lot more than I thought I would. Kind of off the get-go, again, playing on the PTR. We have played literally AFK Journey for months at this time. It has been months that we have been playing it because, of course, we played since the very early beta with the release. And it's actually, it's fun. I'm very interested to see how they do the new season. And essentially, the season gets rid of a lot of the power creep, because most of your heroes start over at the very beginning. New kind of storyline. And again, kind of when I play Dragon Air, everybody starts back at level 1 with kind of the basic heroes that you've been building, and then you kind of go from there. So a lot of it is the time and effort that you put into the game is kind of crazy. The more time and effort you put at the very beginning, you can actually have a jump start. Even if you are pay to win, if you're free to play, whoever it is, you can make a ton of progression very early in the game. With AFK Journey, if you're going and you're jumping in there as soon as that season is released. What is going on? New faction. Yeah, I like the new faction. AFK Arena for free to play for life. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I like the new faction. I'm stuck on 64.44. Too bad Misty Valley rewards only go to 40 plus. They're talking about updating it out for us, which I believe there is going to be, again, some more updates as we continue further in there to keep up. And of course, we have to think too, is big picture. When you look at your Draconis heroes, there has to be a point where we're going to have the ability to keep up with summons, especially for new players. So again, fast forward a couple weeks or a couple months where all of the events are over. And of course, we're not getting all of these regular pulls within the Dragon Pack or within, the rewards we're getting. There's going to be a point where we're going to have to make a consistent income on those to really make a lot more progression, which reminded me of right here. I know we got to go through the Misty Valley. Misty Valley did update as well right down here. So boom, in chapter 45 right there, we have Draconis scrolls. This is what you want to pick out of there. This is actually going to give us 10 more summons, which is pretty cool to get out of there. Yeah, the Misty Valley, like I said, they're planning on updating that. And I know there's also updates. If you checked out the dev notes, or if you've seen the dev notes, there are also going to be a couple changes and a couple updates when it comes to a few other things, including multiple Field of Stars editions and things like that, which would be cool. When is the new hero coming up? I would probably say another week and a half, Ali. The thing is, right now we're having the patch that goes live up on, essentially it'll be up on Tuesday. It should be on global. which means we have another week and a half, or essentially 2 weeks before the next patch. So 2 more weeks until we get that new hero. Which red chests are cost efficient to buy in Labyrinth for diamonds? None of them. Luis, the regular income, diamonds are really reserved for summons, Stargazer summons. I wouldn't buy red chests. I wouldn't buy any chests at all with diamonds. I have never done it. The cost and the return is not there. I would rather save my diamonds for summons and making sure that you're building all of the heroes versus getting kind of everything else built out at that point. I wouldn't go ahead and put a lot of diamonds into the mode. I definitely wouldn't. I pushed through 49, almost to 50. Very nice soul. What gear do you assign to the Draconis heroes? As I'm not sure, was too busy on AFK Journey. So there, the Draconis heroes, you can put anything on. So with the Draconis, so no tank, no mage. The Draconis heroes, you can put anything on them because essentially you're just using the gear resonance. You're not going to be getting any of that specific gear unless, of course, you are buying the specific gear, which again, I do not recommend at all getting the Draconis gear because you want to have the heroes versus having the gear. The gear is not going to make that big of a difference in there. Will this update come with the hero slots and resonating slots? Yes, Blazer. That is part of the update as well. When the patch comes up on Tuesday, a lot more slots. If you guys caught some of the other accounts, we were actually capped by far because of the slots with the Draconic heroes. That was over on the test server. Yes, there are a lot more slots coming that are going to unlock both the hero slots and the resonating slots, and they're going to be able to go through a lot faster, which is good. Can we save a level push again? I would like to see this account on level 1000. We'll get there, Major. Absolutely. Yeah. Journey is working on seasons, very similar to Dragonair. That's exactly, and it was kind of crazy because we played Dragonair for a while, and we went through the first season, started getting into essentially the second season of Dragonair. Then Journey came out, so we played it again a little bit less. And then, of course, now they're doing the seasons within Journey, which is pretty cool. Damia SI30 worth it? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Are there any new codes for AFK Arena? No, there is not. For AFK Journey, yes. Diamonds for the Scam Gazer. Yes, the Scam Gazer diamonds, or even building out the heroes. So we need Kren and Treznar in here. So also remember, not just the Stargazer for diamonds. Kren and Treznar is not only that, is you're going to be using a lot of Treznar. I'm trying to talk and do two things at once, and it's not working out so well. So Treznar, I believe I haven't built out. Look at Oden's skin. Oden's skin is pretty sick looking. But like I was saying, save your diamonds as well for the desired hero summons. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. Going in there and getting the desired hero summon. So being able to pull essentially a priority hero out of a very, very early summon with the desired hero summons is another place you're going to be utilizing a lot of diamonds. And that's normally what we see. Both of those. Any thought on what anime they're going to have to collaboration? That I do not know. As of right now, Eric, I am not sure with the collaborations. I know they threw, I believe, 8 collaborations that people were kind of interested in. So it'll be interesting to see. And look at that. John Wick. I still love the movies. If you guys have never seen John Wick, definitely do it. But there is another Hippo supporter. And we're still only at 1 subscriber. But we are definitely getting on a road to 38,000 subscribers, which is crazy. So we got light bears here and do not trigger more than 3 ultimates. And literally, one thing to note, guys, is since we have AFK Journey, since we actually picked up the second game, is I have literally kind of streamlined the process of going through here. So when I come in here and when I go into to play AFK Arena, just like AFK Journey, I already have in my mind exactly what I have to kind of accomplish for the day. And that is how we progress so fast in AFK Journey with the help of D2. I don't think he's on here, but a big shout out to D2 and all of the knowledge and the time and effort into AFK Journey. Same with Analytica, same with Deidre Gray and a lot of other players over there. It was really cool to see how much crazy content is coming out of the game with minimal heroes. It's awesome to see. And again, it's a ton of fun, guys. If you haven't tried it, if you haven't picked it up, give it a whirl. It is pretty fun to play. Game isn't even, gear isn't even game changer. Yeah, and that's exactly what Trisha said. The gear isn't a big difference. Even when you look at the stat boost that you're getting from that specific gear, it is really important to have the heroes versus not having the heroes. And again, the gear doesn't really make a big difference. And the gear has almost at this point kind of, I mean, in my opinion, kind of phased out a little bit, just because, again, it doesn't really make a big difference when it comes to the gear, because we have so many other things. When you look at all the changes that are coming to collections, there's going to be a lot of things that are changing with collections, being able to essentially equip them on a multitude of heroes, which in my opinion is super, super impressive and super kind of broken. So if you go in there and you pull one really strong collection, you're going to be able to equip that collection on a bunch of different heroes, which is going to be awesome. And look at that, MD's new subscriber. That is already 2 subs to the channel. Thank you for subbing to the channel. Yeah, it's really cool to see of what is kind of coming down the pipeline with all of this. And of course, the collections, it's going to be a game changer. That is literally, and if you build collections and just how much of an absolute pain in the butt it is, they are also going to do over the next couple patches the ability to change the collection. So you can take a collection and you can continue to build that same collection, making it stronger. And then that collection can be shared across a multitude of heroes. So again, when you think big picture with how kind of messed up the collections are, they're changing a lot of it. Much, much needed with the collections, but they are doing it. Is it that time of year again? Mauler release, everyone hoping it'll be good. Yes, Yellow, I am hoping the same. We know it is going to be a Mauler, and I think Trisha was saying that it is going to be a Ranger Mauler, which again could be pretty interesting to see. I know a lot of players were saying, oh, it's going to be an awakened version of Verk. Again, I don't know. I try to get the information. I know a lot of players data mine, but trying to get it kind of as much as we can. Yes, the collection's changing. Again, you talk about one of the biggest kind of craziest things that they need to overhaul with that system. And this is absolutely the number one. Now in here, we do have 5 more days. We'll go ahead and collect up these resources. I want to do some summons because we are on a new week. And I do want to go through here. And again, they're adding more floors. They're adding essentially more in the campaign formations. So you want to make sure that you're continuing your progression going through there and getting out and building out all of these heroes. And of course in here, because I already have my beast to level 18, Resonance 18. Now again, very, very important. Because if you don't have them at 18, you want to get some baits out of here versus the red chest. And of course, once you hit 18, you're going to drop out those beasts, resonance, or that bait exclusively, and then get all the red chests like I have here. Now, of course, this one, I don't want the tier stones. I'm not worried about the pull coins. I'll take some baits out of here. I'm okay with it. This is what we're going to pick. And I'm still looking for Aethys because, of course, Aethys is very, very broken in a lot of different game modes. But we are absolutely just crushing some more collections. How many heroes will be in the collab? Crash, honestly, I think it's going to be 2. I think it is going to be 2. Just like we have kind of seen in the past, I think it is going to be two more heroes. And there we go. We got some free loot that is up. Red, and I'm going to go, let's go red in here, which of course is the best one we can get. And then we'll get some essence. Freebie right there. And then of course, this one we're not buying. Even in here, guys, we're pretty limited to what we buy. We even kind of cut the budget a little bit. We have our 2 monthly cards. I have right here the Noble Society, so we do get our red chest and our cores out of here. And then Twisted, I only get this first chest, which of course is more poke coins. Everything else, we don't buy. That is literally the 4 things that I buy in AFK Arena, and that's it. So we're pretty limited to what we get in here. Now, of course, super chats, everything like that. We did pick up quite a few scrolls. If you guys remember last time, we picked up a couple scrolls to go ahead and summon up some heroes. But let's hop in here. I want to do the summons before I forget. Let's pop open these chests. We'll build up some heroes and see exactly what we get out of all of the stones. Now, of course, in a day or two, you get some pretty solid resources. And when you look at the amount you get in here, especially with these weekly chests, I mean, we're getting these cards every single day. Then, of course, looking in here, this is out of, I believe this was a Curse Realm in the Nightmare Corridor. Could have been the Treasure Scramble. You just get a lot of loot from a lot of different places. I think of when we started AFK Arena and where you really didn't get nothing for anything. It's kind of crazy that this is kind of what we're getting on a daily basis to build up the heroes. And it does go pretty quick in here. Now, of course, we have one more copy of Mortis. This puts us 1. Guys, we are 1 away from having Mortis built out in its entirety. 4 scrolls here, which there we go. Trishea and Naruko. That is a very good pull right there. Boom. There's another copy of Trishea. Of course, those are going to be recycled. 27 rare heroes going to be recycled, of course. All of those recycled are going right back into Twisted Essence. So we use Twisted Essence out of the shop. And of course, we get more heroes. But I want to do my regular summons too for the heroes that are coming. And again, there's Mortis. And I believe that finishes out a lot more heroes. So Trishea actually gets maxed out right there. Mortis, we need 2 copies. And again, that is the very, very last hero we have in the Challenger store. And then we'll buy all of the red chests out of there as we continue to build them out. On high before, many thanks to FHG to catch the guides. Much appreciated for the contributions. Oh, thank you. Thank you. TY. Thank you, Ty. Who is the best pet? The best beast in here is still the whale or the slumbering seal. This is still the best one. Just for the fact that the seal can carry a lot of different teams in its entirety, which is kind of crazy. Which tank from the Light Bearers is better to build? Ooh, Light Bearer tanks. That is a very tough one. If you're building the Awakened version of Lucius, he's pretty good. But even looking at tanks themselves, looking at Sonya, here at Guineas, none of them are being used short of the tower. Guineas does pretty well, again, not being used anywhere short of the tower. Sonya, of course, does the damage mitigation, again, short of the tower. Only one that's being used at all is Lucius. That is the one. Did they mention they're supposed to have a first iteration of collections? So another batch will appear at some point. Yes, if you remember, this is the first season of collections. If you look here, remember, it shows right here within the display. This is the first Northern Zone collection. So this is essentially the first iteration of collections, which we know there are more coming down the pipeline. Maulers are good in Journey. Maybe a makeup. Yeah, exactly, Zolthimus. That's what a lot of players have said, that the Maulers are so amazing in AFK Journey because they really screwed them over in AFK Arena. And again, that's what we see in a couple different places. There is Inkira. And I want to say wish list wise, yeah, look at that. Guys, we literally have one hero that needs essentially just 1 star. Graveborns will be done. 1, 2 heroes there. 1 hero here, which is Vika. And then, of course, we have 1 hero here, which is the Dancers. And that's it. Night, thank you. Oh, good night, Ty. I'm thinking about trying AFK Arena today. Are there certain characters I should look for summons? Definitely, gamer, check out the wish list first. Because when you start AFK Arena, as of right now, very, very easy. There are 2 heroes you want to focus on building early game. You are looking for Ivan, of course, priority number 1 in the wish list, and you are looking for Damon. So those are the 2 essentially that you want to carry, and they will literally carry you probably about 30 chapters through just building them out. It works incredibly well. If you get any of the Awakened heroes, they're huge to put in formations because of the SP effect, especially early game. If you're starting AFK Arena, early game, you want to build out Graveborn. Graveborn are literally the only faction that you want to build out that you're really looking for. You want to build out the Graveborn pretty much as soon as possible. They are the absolute strongest faction to carry you through AFK Arena. It works very well. Should I continue spending diamonds to summon dragons to add stars if I've ascended them all? I would not, Chris. And the reason being, when you start getting them all the way to ascended, that is where you really need them. The diamonds or the cost return is a lot lower when you start getting to the Draconis heroes. And I would also wait and save those for number 1, the Stargazer heroes that could be coming in the future. And number 2, if we get new Draconis heroes, you have the diamonds to summon those as well. So I would definitely pause and just wait to see what is coming down the pipeline. And if you're sitting on the resources, Chris, great, because you have them to utilize. If you go ahead and do all of those summons, you could be kind of SOL, which is kind of crap out of luck. If you don't have anything left and a new hero comes out that is a game changer, you're not going to be able to make a lot of progression. Most people have said to avoid Damon, instead focus on Ivan and linking them to Rem. A lot of players have said that too, Blazer. And again, when it comes easy, once you get to the point of being able to get Rem, you can do it that way, and doing the link will work incredibly well. But you have to get to the point where you can actually get Rem. And again, early, you can get Damon very early. Both of them are going to be a lot of utility for the heroes. And it also depends, Blazer, on who you get. So early game, if you're lucky to get Damon, if you're lucky to get a couple copies of a few other heroes, they might just carry you for a while until you can get to Rem. But yeah, if you have Rem, if you have Damon, both of them work incredibly well, which there we go. So we got Movis and we got Savius in there. Hoping to get maybe an Awakened hero. That is what I'm looking for in here. And unfortunately, nothing at this point. Stargazer, again, we're saving all of our cards. We already have Kelthin built up to the 1-star. 684 in here, guys. Now remember, the probabilities are changing. Now, a lot of players were saying that the probabilities are not going to make a big difference. But when you think about it, so right now we're at a 2.0. We are going to a 2.5 probability. So you are getting a 25% increase when it comes to building these out, which is kind of crazy, going from the 2.0 to the 2.5. It is going to be a 25% increase, which means when you're building out heroes, both in the Temple of Time and the Stargazer, it is going to come a lot faster, and it is going to come with a lot less cards that we should build. That is the reason why I'm sitting on everything right now, because I want to see when a new hero comes out, because if you remember, the Awakened version of Brutus took us 395 cards. That was the cheapest Awakened hero that we have ever built, was at the 395, and I'm very interested to see, with the buff and the rates, exactly what the new heroes are going to look like and how much easier we're going to be able to essentially require those. I restarted recently. Most people have said to avoid Damon. Oh yeah, we kind of talked about that. Been waiting for long. Should I swap my 1-star Olgath for tower progression? Titus for Olgath? Yes, absolutely. Titus, I've never even built Beans. There's really not a reason, and this is a hero, again, that I have never built. All of my copies of Titus have just been from regular pulls. Same with Tarnos right here and a few others that literally I have never built. I've never built Leofric. I've never built Zekus. Those heroes just kind of got built naturally. I've never built Mizoth, but doing a lot of summons, we've gotten quite a few copies of them. I would swap Titus for Olgath. Not only Olgath being used in a couple different places, tower progression is going to help. Yes, I would absolutely swap that. And essentially, if you really want to use Titus once upon a time, you could build them, or honestly just summon that hero again if you really, really wanted to. But I don't see any place where Titus is going to be used. Again, in the towers, I didn't even use Titus either, which is really true. I still haven't used the swap. Yeah, I haven't either. I'm still sitting on my swap. If you guys caught it when we were in here a little bit earlier, 15 more days. I'm probably going to hero swap. And I was almost thinking like a Wukong, just to have one other hero a little bit higher. But of course, if I did go this route with a swap, where if we went with Leofric or we did, Meatball or someone like that, or even Titus, I would have them at 5 stars, but neither hero I would use. Now, I do like having this guy up to 5 stars because of the swap in the Rickety Cart. So I can actually go in here and I can swap a couple different heroes depending on who I'm really looking for. I can use the extra copies that we do get for free through Lilith to actually continue to build those up, which is why I've kind of been looking at that. Any subs for Gavis or Sophia in the Dragonforge? Not really tickle me, and the reason is it is such a very, very hard, fickle game mode. The Dragonforge is super difficult, guys, just for the fact that if you don't have a lot of the Draconic heroes built, this is going to be very hard. You could go in there with some other mitigating heroes, some of the more defensive heroes, but really, if you look at Gavis, again, kind of that mitigation piece, if you use someone like Peanut, that kind of has like that mitigation piece, even looking at Merlin, kind of thinking along the same kind of heroes that have, again, kind of that damage mitigation piece, could work in there. It definitely could. I get to 8, I can't finish 9. I can finish out 8 with no problems because we just got the reset. 7 and 8 are no problem. When I hit 9, I probably literally went through stage 9 right here hundreds of times. I did go through this literally hundreds of times, which again, with these staying the same and the Draconis heroes getting a little bit stronger, shouldn't be any problem getting right back to essentially where we were because we still have the same team comps, making it pretty easy to get through the combat or through the content. But again, when I get to the point of getting to 9, I've tried everything to get through 9 and I can't. I cannot get through there. Not huge if you're doing one summon here and one summon there, but a lot of people think, yeah, bulk summons. And that's where I want to see, Trisha, what is going to make the difference. Which again, I mean, if you think it's a numbers game, and that's really all that it is. Again, when you start doing bulk summons or hundreds of summons, even every one summon, if you have, a little bit of a higher chance, it is numbers, because if you're doing one summon here or there, or 10 here and there, eventually the numbers are going to catch up. It's going to be, yeah, it's a pretty big difference. And that's what I want to see. That's why I said, Cozy, I'm Cozy Kai, wait to do the summons as of right now. Wondering who the next Awakened hero will be. Yes, you and I both, we are kind of wondering. So again, coming in Trial 8, we've gotten our Draconic heroes built up a little bit further. So this shouldn't be incredibly difficult to get through, but I want to do some summons with what we have. And you can see, guys, they didn't even dent any of our heroes at this point. And this, of course, is a very, very high RNG factor part of the game, which a lot of players don't like it because of the RNG factor, essentially, that we're seeing, where, again, a lot of players don't like the RNG factor. Literally, you can run this 100 times, and 1 out of 100 times you could get essentially your 3 stars, and the other 99 times you just fail. It kind of sucks. Yeah, the increase, LOL, is pretty big. So there we go. So we're right back to 9 again. This is where we've been stuck at before, getting our rewards out of here. And of course, we're going back to floor 6 on the reset. I'm hoping this week, by the end of this week, so remember, Dragonforge trials are up for 7 days, that by the end of this week, I'm going to have the ability to actually go through there and build out a few other heroes or get them a little bit further. Now, of course, in here, I'm going to be continuing to build out Hildwyn, and hopefully we can get a copy, which there we got some more threat emblems. Still need those threat emblems. And then, of course, I'm putting all my diamonds in here because I still need a lot of these Draconic heroes, which there we go. There's a copy of Cassius and Polina, but we're looking for Gorgie. I love Gorgie, guys. You talk about a hero that most players just absolutely love. Gorgie is super, super cute. And of course, we just use them as the food for everything. But I'm thinking even there, we don't have enough to get another copy of Gorgie. So essentially, since we already have Cassius up, we want to get Polina up to this Mythic, and then we'll have pretty much all of them except Gwen already at Mythic. And then all of my emblems as of right now are taking right here, our Lord of Ashes, up a little bit further. So Hildwyn, I'm going to take and I'm going to build him up quite a bit and continuing to build out these signature items. Now, of course, with the update on Tuesday, we're going to get a lot more emblems, allowing us to build them up a little bit further. And what is going on? D2, there he is. We were talking about you a little bit earlier. 2 years as a member of the channel. It is amazing. And most of you know that D2 is my co-GM of the Vanguards over on AFK Journey. Awesome. You talk about someone who knows the content and knows everything within AFK Journey. D2 is the go-to when I have a lot of questions. Frampton for Lavatoon is a must. Yeah, Lavatoon is crazy strong. If you saved your win, then you could focus on 1 or 2 of the other fights. Oh, yeah, exactly. If they saved your win, yes, I would love that. That way we could try to kind of change it out. What's going on? I'm a D2. Shout out to him. Yeah, big shout out. He is awesome. That one guy, what's going on? Yeah, so in here, guys, again, wait to do the weeklies. Wait till you can build out the Field of Stars. I'm going to have to remember because I'm probably going to come in here and click this on accident. But again, wait to do the weeklies till we get the updates for the Field of Stars so we can actually go through there. And then, of course, I'm going to have to do my TikTok challenge and send that out. I know a lot of players were kind of asking about that. But again, Celestial Isles, we're starting to make a lot more progression in here. And it is loot, and it is loot just on a multitude of places. There we go. We found our floor number 2. Getting red chests, getting Pokecoins, which we should do a couple more summons. Let me hop out of this, and we'll do our summons. I want to do some summons for furniture summons. We definitely have to keep going with our furniture summons and a few other things. Now, most of the heroes, you know, we're starting to get to 5 stars, which is kind of crazy. We are absolutely getting there. An INFC Nightcore, what's going on, Nightcore? So here we have 48,000. So in a course of a week, guys, we got 48,000 Pokecoins, which again is kind of crazy to see. Building out all of our Draconis heroes, we have them right up on top. And of course, we already have Nyla at the 9 of 9 furniture, but I want furniture for Kelton. He is one that I'm looking for, as well as Adrian and Elise. They are 2 that I need because both of those heroes right now are being used. And of course, the higher that I build them, the higher it's going to be competitive in a lot of different game modes. So there is a copy for Kelton. There's another copy for Baden, which of course, Baden, we're looking for damage. There's a copy for Braun. We're getting a lot of furniture in here, which is awesome to see. I think we're almost ready to break 1,000 pieces of furniture, which is crazy. There's another copy for Adrian and Elise right there. Come on, we got to get... I'm not seeing any Draconic heroes. There is Chimera. Come on, where are they at? Last time we got a lot. We did get a lot. There we go. So there's a copy for Hildwyn. And I think I might actually use some of my cards. There's another one for Adrian Elise. That gives us 8 on the table. Again, I think I might use some of those cards just for a simple fact. I'm going to have to look at these two. But boom, that does give us a couple more copies in there. So what are we close? So we got 7. So let me go ahead and drop one in there. Again, this is a hero that we're using. I'm going to use this one for Adrian and Elise just to build them up a little bit further. Now, again, because it is a hero that we're using, I want to build them out to the 9 of 9. That way they're done with the furniture in their entirety and we can drop them out. That's going to work. Came to see the game guru. Yeah, when you hit up the knowledge. Any spot in Vanguard? I think so. I would have to look. Should be able to get through 9. You're stronger than mine. It took some RNG for fight 2. I think so, Trisha. I'm going to have to try it. And again, I want to try it before this week is up. Essentially, I do want to build it up a little bit further. I want to get through 9. I'm trying to get to 10. And I feel like as soon as I get to 10, they're going to up where we're kind of going through or how many levels are in there. I feel like that's going to be the point where they just change it. There we go. That is going to go ahead and max it out for that hero. 9 of 9 furniture means that we can drop the hero out of there. And again, Kelthin is the other one that I do want to build. So both of those we can drop out as well. So where is Kelthin? There he is. 4. There we go. There's the rest of the furniture. So both of those I am just going to drop out. There's the 9 of 9, which means that if we can drop out both of these, we're just going to put some more of the Awakened Heroes in there. So putting like Leica in there, we have quite a few copies. I dropped Baden in there, and there's a lot. Like in here, we already have Nyla at the 9 of 9, which we might just keep. Let me drop Ren in here. Then, of course, we have the other 4, and then we have Braun in there. So most of these heroes we have built out. I'm super, super happy to see the progression we're making in here. And it is another mythic piece, which goes to Chimera. So another one to Chimera in there, which again, optimization, we're pretty good. Got both those heroes built out, which is awesome. Does the King's Tower go over 4 teams? No, it does not. Not that I'm aware of right now. Where's Adrian and Elise being used? So they're actually being used in a couple different places. So we're actually seeing them in the Cursed Realm. I don't know if it's in this iteration. The Treasure Scramble, they're being used. There are a few different places where we're seeing Adrian and Elise actually being used. Let me see. And again, I don't know if it is in this iteration, but I've been seeing them every now and then. Even right there, there's Tamaris, which there is Nyla. So even seeing Nyla, and right there's Adrian and Elise. And again, they're starting to be used in a couple different places. Let me look. Chan usually has 5 that's unlocked. And then in here, look at that. Lady Simona and Althus or Aethys. Very, very cool to see some of the formations in here and how they're working. But again, when you're building them up, not even adding in the stats and everything else, the heroes do make a big difference when you're adding this in here for some more tenacity, especially in that PvP aspect. And then, of course, Kelthin is being used in a few different places, but getting this built up a little bit further is, of course, every time Kelthin slays a hero, his attack rating is permanently increased by 20%, stacking 4 times. That's a pretty big buff in there, which is awesome. It is really cool to see. Tier 4 stones, I think we have a ton of them in here. But again, PvP aspect, getting a little bit more of the tenacity. And of course, looking here in the Treasure Scramble, they are being used in a few different places as well. So when you start going through the ranks, checking out Blossom like we always do, right there is Kelthin. And then even coming down here, we have Valkyrie right there. But usually they're being used in a few other formations. And I don't see Adrian Elise in here. There's Thane. And of course, this is the PvP aspect. But some of the formations, we are seeing a lot of these heroes used. But again, to be really competitive in a bunch of different game modes, you have to build the heroes. You have to invest in the heroes. You have to build the heroes. It does take a considerable amount of time. And I'm going to try to go through 9. Because I know, again, Dragonforge, we've been building them up a little bit further. I just want to get through. And usually it will be that second team. That is hard. Glad I made it to live. How are we doing? We're doing amazing, Ghazi. Thank you for joining us. Nothing is going on. You got nice content. I just checked out your level 400. Me too, but I'm only in chapter 57. The thing is time. when you look at Night Court, when you look at making progression in this game, it is literally just time, and it is a stupid amount of time when you're going in there. No, Ainz is dead. Yes, unfortunately, don't build Ainz. He is pretty dead. I'm working on Nyla and Gwen. So Nyla works incredibly well. So does Gwen. The thing that I note is Gwen is very, very expensive to build because they're not giving us any free copies, which kind of stinks. I'm too lazy when it comes to chapters and AFK. Yeah, I just auto battle. Most of you know, if you look, I'm playing on a PC. I'm playing through BlueStacks on a PC. But going through here, it does make it very, very easy just to macro this, or not even macro, just to auto attack. And I literally let it run. Usually while I go do something, I'll go work out in the yard. It can run for a couple hours, and it will sit here and literally just go and run. If I was to use 5 Draconics 3-day trials to push accounts, how would you suggest to do it? Make one dragon comp and push it, or merge dragon into each of the existing comps. You could space it out. So depending on the one that you're using, Boz, you could actually space it out. So even putting a hero like Hildwyn in there, or Gwen, you could honestly go through and you could space it out to see exactly how it's going to work. And look at that, Pat's. Thank you for joining us, Pat, for a new subscriber. That gives us 3 subscribers already. We have a couple new members. We have a couple new subscribers, but that is awesome. We are well on our way to 38,000 subscribers, which is crazy. And again, I think I might even just set my comps in here, run it for probably about an hour or two, and then go through, switch up the formation if it's not working, doing the exact same thing, going through, running this for probably about an hour or two out, and we'll just continue getting there. And eventually this is going to happen. Is there a way to play AFK Arena on map? On Mac? I believe you can. Yes, I believe, but there are a couple different emulators that you can play on Mac for sure. You definitely can. Build heroes or spend an embarrassing amount of time finding solutions without the top heroes. Yeah, and that's it. That is the free-to-play life. Like he said right there, it just takes a lot of time. There is a huge, huge, huge time constraint if you don't have the heroes built out. They should have added autoplay. That is coming. Just what Night Court said. We actually talked about it over on Discord with AFK Arena. It is coming. So this is coming with an auto battle feature, which essentially you could go through here, set your team just like we normally do, but you're going to be able to just set your team and then go through here and fight it until essentially it's done, which again would be pretty easy to get through. I'm going to have to work on my teams and see what we can do. But yeah, there's going to be a feature. There's going to be a part that you're going to be able to essentially just go there. I don't know if it's going to be in the next patch or two, but they talked about the auto battle feature, especially when you get to a little bit further into there. Because again, the time constraint, similar to what we've seen with the auto battle feature for pretty much everything else in here, it makes a really, really big game-changing difference. When I can go in here and I can copy, a hero or a comp, essentially that's right around me. Let's see CJ's comp. We'll go ahead, we'll confirm this one and just literally let it run until it works. Now, majority of times you might only get one floor out of this, or it might take just a stupid amount of time to get through one floor. Is what we normally see is there's a floor like this one right here that might take an incredible amount of time and effort to get through. But once you get through here, you can usually go up 2 or 3 floors. It's very well worth it. Is it worth to spend crystals for Dragon's Heroes? To spend the diamonds for it, I would. And the reason being, if you think even basics, if you're not using your diamonds within here to get some of the heroes, it's so slow. We talked about it, and that's exactly why I made the thumbnail. Going through here, it's super slow to get enough, essentially to get enough of these dragon scrolls. If you're not spending diamonds in here, the probability is you're not going to be going through the Dragon Forge trials very fast at all, or maybe not at all if you're not spending your diamonds in here. But of course, if you're spending your diamonds in the Dragon Forge, you're not going to be able to spend them essentially within the Stargazer, which again is kind of a catch-22 because resources for resources, you have to find the best place to really spend them. Is it like 11:30 or so? I didn't check since a month. New player here, been playing for about a week. Chapter 23 stock, resonating 150. On the 24-hour chest, at what chapter is it okay to use them? Honestly, if you're stuck, I use them. I really don't stockpile a bunch of them. You might get a little bit. So again, that's kind of like the catch-22 of what AFK Arena is. If you're sitting on a bunch of chests If you use them later, essentially you're going to get a little bit more essence. But if you get a little bit more essence now, you're going to be able to progress faster with the progression. Essentially, it should be a lot more beneficial to use them now, get the progression that you need, because even especially where you're at, you're going to have to go through and make a lot more progression now to essentially unlock everything. So once you get to the point, you're still at the point where you're unlocking a lot of AFK Arena in chapter 23. I would use the chest, go ahead and build up the heroes, make a lot more progression, because even using those chests as well, you should be able to make a ton more progression rate here within your King's Tower as you're going through and using those. Yes, you should absolutely be able to make a lot more progression in here because you went through and you used your chests to get a lot higher level heroes, which again is kind of the way that you want to do it. I didn't save a lot of resources when I made a lot of progression, just for the simple fact that it takes a lot of time. There is a lot of time. Yeah, free to play. There you go. So save chest. When I got stuck, I used the chest until I was no longer stuck, then continued. And even now, you're getting so many resources. Honestly, you get a lot out of AFK with regular, daily gameplay. Everything else, you do get a lot of resources, a lot of different places. And of course, if you're leveling up faster earlier, chances are you can be a lot more competitive in a lot of different game modes as well. And even looking D2, I'm at 950 at the moment. So 850 right now. I think Resonating Crystal 850. So right now we're at 882. And again, we've been making a lot of progression, guys. 882. Even our combat rating, look at this. 1.01 trillion. So as we continue to build out those heroes, we are 1.01 trillion in our combat rating. Of course, as we continue to get more in there, you get some solid resources out of here, guys. This is on a regular basis that we're always pulling more resources out of there. Then, of course, the Elder Tree, we're still building this up. 209, 208, we'll take this to 209. Then we have to build up these two. And then, of course, we'll be right back to building out our Tank Tree. But as you can see, they're almost all, this just needs a little bit more to 200. 209 is the cap we're sitting at, which means we're going to be able to essentially start capping out the Elder Tree, which is going to be awesome. What's the best comps for the campaign? Really depends, John, on who you have built. So when you start getting into high level deficiencies like we are, you have to have either one, it's going to be Thorn Cheese, or two, it is going to be very, very heavy crowd control immunity. There's no other way that you can live. You literally will get run over with any single team that is in here because, of course, with the level deficiency, it's pretty much a one-hit shop where if we let anyone, even here like with Mihira, if the crowd control comes off this team, one hit, you're dead. That's it, period. Literally any of the heroes short of having an immunity, it is one single hit and that is it. You are dead instantly. It's kind of crazy like how fast that we actually die in here. So of course, before we conclude with our live stream, we're going to do our membership giveaway. We do this every single live stream, even with Journey, even with AFK Arena. We always do the membership gifting. So that is going to pop up in just a minute. And congratulations to, who's it went to Otto? Is it Otto? So congratulations on the new membership. I love doing that. When do I start stargazing? I made the mistake early on and thought you were supposed to directly one-star Liberta. So the general rule, Terminus, is when you get 3 heroes ascended of each faction. That is really the general consensus, because essentially when you're at the point in AFK Arena that you're getting Stargazer scrolls out of the towers, that is the point when you want to start doing the stargazing, because essentially not only using diamonds is you have the ability to farm Stargazer scrolls out of your faction towers, which makes it incredibly easy because now you can supplement diamonds with scrolls, making it very easy to actually go through there. If you can't beat 9, try my team later. Oh yeah, I'll definitely try the team. Pulina, Bubble, Dragon Tank, Sophia. Okay, well I'll hop it in there and see. And again, I'll hop it. We'll see there and we'll run it for a while. Again, we spend an incredible amount of time. I was going through editing videos and doing a couple other things for the finance channel, and I was literally just running stage 9 over and over and over until we finally, or we never even finally got it to click. It just wasn't working and didn't want to work at all. Now we know Dragon Pack, this is already done. Dragon Howl, we're not buying the skin, so this is already done. So right now we're just pretty much waiting for what is coming down the pipeline. and we know there is quite a bit. We have the Treasure Scramble, we have the new Temple Rift season that is going to be coming, but we also have a few more events that are going to be, again, kind of coming down the pipeline, just waiting to go ahead and get more resources and continuing to build these heroes. We got new heroes coming, have a lot of changes of everything that's coming. It's very cool. Thank you so much, as always, Hippo. You're my game guru. Shout out to D2 as well. Yes, absolutely. And again, guys, that is going to do it for the stream for tonight, or for today. The weather held out. It still looks very, very gray outside. Again, they were talking about severe thunderstorms were coming. And let me know how the stream went. So YouTube has been recommending me to do ultra low latency. I don't know if it made a big difference or if there's really much of a change. For all of you that join the stream on a regular basis, definitely let me know. Let me know if it was a lot smoother with running a lower latency, if there was any issues, any problems with it. Definitely let me know, because I don't know. This is the first time that we did. Do you earn money from the content since it's... do you earn money from this content since it's not a game? YouTube does AdSense. So when people go back and watch the replays or the repeats on this, I get it from AdSense through YouTube. That's really it. It's not from the game itself. It's not like, you know, they're cutting me a paycheck for go ahead and doing a live stream. Yep, you do get it. And this, again, is my passive income stream. If you caught the finance channel, this is a way that supplements essentially what we're using and what we're doing in AFK Arena and AFK Journey. You know the 50 Dragon Time emblems they gave us? I tried to get Hilduin 1 copy, somehow got 5. That is awesome. And honestly, if you have the luck to get that 5 copies of Hilduin, I've seen a double, which is pretty cool. So essentially, if you get a lot of copies of Hilduin, you'll be able to swap them from Gwen, and I believe it's going to be in the rickety cart, just like we've seen before, where you're going to be able to replace heroes. So going in here, you're going to be able to do the exact same. So if you continue summoning for Hilduin because you're having amazing luck on Hilduin, you'll be able to essentially ascend him to 5 stars, and extra copies are going to swap to Gwen. It is a 3-to-1, which I don't recommend, but if they keep giving us the free copies and you got just lucky as could be, which is kind of crazy, then yes, absolutely. I noticed a way better latency. Took 40 seconds to either get through. Oh, very cool. Thank you, D2. Like I said, they recommended it when I started the stream, when I got it up in YouTube. It said we recommended running it on a lower latency. That way the interactions are a lot smoother. So that is really, really cool to know that it is. So Hilduin doing good for me as a 2-team carry. Yeah, again, Hilduin just seems like a very, very much easier build than we're seeing with Gwen. But also, guys, remember, and even when I did the tier list, a lot of feedback I got on the tier list, it is very, very early with the Draconis heroes. When, you know, Nyla came back pretty low. Next month, chances are she's probably going to be much higher. Chances are we could see Gwen even come back a little bit higher. The early game tier list, and that is why even in the video where we did the tier list, I really said and I really stressed that it is very early with these heroes. When you think of Nightmare Corridor, Cursed Realm, Treasure Scramble, we haven't even seen any of the other iterations of the Treasure Scramble. We haven't seen, you know, the weekly rotations of all of the Cursed Realm and the Nightmare Corridor with the Draconis heroes being introduced. There might be a point, and honestly, there definitely could be, where the heroes are going to change, and they will change just based on the utility cases, because again, we haven't used them in a multitude of game modes at this point. Even looking through, like I was saying, with the couple different bosses and all the iterations that we have in these game modes, it's going to take a while till we go through. So looking at the dashboard, looking at all of the heroes, all that we have coming, we have not seen the Draconis heroes ran through these formations. We don't know exactly where they're essentially going to be used at this point. And of course, we have a new boss that is coming, the Darkness Rising. But again, we don't know exactly where they're going to be used, how they're going to be used, because it is still very, very early, which is the exact same in here. When you start looking at the different bosses, we don't know exactly how and where they're going to be used, which of course is going to kind of change where they're in the tier list based on the utility of these heroes. So all right, guys, so that is going to do it for our Sunday live stream. Welcome all of the new subscribers to the channel, and of course, all of the super chats and the new members to the channel. Very, very cool to see. Have a great Sunday. I got some shopping to do and some other things. But again, guys, thank you guys for joining me for the stream. I love being able to come in here and talk to you guys about AFK Arena, giving you all of the, the feedback and all of the input, especially with D2 and Trisha. Trisha, I'm going to check out your comp right now, see if I can go ahead and get through that stage number 9, get into 10, get some more rewards out of there. So again, guys, have a great Sunday. And as always, thank you guys for watching.